Looks like we're live. It says I'm live. All righty. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for September 10th. September 10th is the 253rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 254th in leap years, with 112 days remaining to the end of the year. We had so much fun yesterday with the word of the day from Wiktionary.org that I went back there again for today's word. And today it's well nigh. Well nigh. Well nigh is an adverb that means almost or nearly. This comes to us from Middle English, Old English before that, and ultimately from Proto Indo European root words. So it's been around a while. Now, I've been running a little late with my research for today's video, so we're going to do it live today. And then I can take clips and add pictures for the hashtag shorts. So be on the lookout for those later in the day. All righty then, let's get on with this day. We'll start with September 10th, 1509. We saw an earthquake in Constantinople. It came to be known as Little Judgment Day or the Lesser Judgment Day. This actually occurred in the Sea of Marmara, and it hit at about 10 p.m. It's estimated that this quake was about a 7.2 magnitude. That's a pretty stout earthquake. And it generated a tsunami and 45 days of aftershocks. The death toll for this earthquake is estimated from between 1,000 and 13,000 people perished. This is the birthday of English physician Thomas Sydenham, born September 10th, 1624. Known as the English Hippocrates, he wrote a medical book that became a standard textbook of medicine for 2 centuries. He also discovered a disease known as Sydenham's chorea, also known as St. Vitus dance, which was later discovered to be a neurological after effect of scarlet fever, which is caused by a strep infection. That's why it's rarely seen these days, because children are usually treated with antibiotics before strep throat can turn into scarlet fever, before it turns into Sydenham's chorea. Thomas Sydenham, good guy. He lived to the age of 65. This is the birthday of Isaac Funk, born September 10th, 1839. He was the co-founder of Funk and Wagnall's Publishing Company. They typically publish reference works such as the Standard Dictionary of the English Language and the Funk and Wagnall's Standard Encyclopedia in 25 volumes. Mr. Funk, that's what we used before we had the internet, before we had Wikipedia. You'd have all these collection of books, encyclopedias. People of my generation and a little bit older, if their household was fortunate enough to have a set of encyclopedias, well, they might sit down and just pull out one and read for the evening. And that's what we did before the internet. Anyway, Mr. Funk lived to the age of 72. Elias Howe was granted a patent for the sewing machine on September 10th, 1846. Now, we're talking about the modern lock-stitch sewing machine that a lot of people have in their homes right now under different brands. And what a great thing that was. Before sewing machines, the lady of the house was likely to spend several days each month mending clothes. Even if she could afford to hire a seamstress, it was still a huge time-consuming task keeping the household's clothing in good repair. And you might think, as I did at first, gee, what's wrong with their clothes that they need so much mending? Well, I would answer that question with a question. Have you ever hand sewn anything? If so, you know how fragile those seams can be. One little piece of thread going back and forth through the fabric to hold it together. Hand stitching is a lovely accent to garments nowadays, but if the entire garment is held together with nothing but hand stitching, it's probably going to need quite a bit of maintenance. The lock stitch sewing machine changed that in a big way. The seams on your clothing now, whether it was a commercially made product or your mom or you yourself made it, those seams stay together a lot better when they're sewn on a sewing machine than if they were sewn by hand. And we could thank Elias Howe for that. And this is the day he received the patent for the lock stitch sewing machine. This is the birthday of musician Joe Perry, born September 10th, 1950. He's the founding member of the rock band Aerosmith and does other work as well. He's still working, and as of his birthday in 2021, he turns 71. And that's all I have for you today. Hope you learned something you didn't know before. I know I sure did. As always, links to my sources are included in the show notes. And we don't have images on lives, and we won't have music on live either because I haven't figured out how to do that yet. But let's see. All that stuff's still in the credits, even though we don't use it on this video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with the link in your messaging, email, or social media. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. And now we go look for that thank you very much button. And thank you very much.